Songlian is a college student whose father was in the tea business. As her father passed away not long ago, her stepmother refused to support her college education and urged her to get married. The man she is to marry already has 3 wives, and she will become his 4th wife. On her wedding day, Songlian did not ride in a grand bridal sedan chair. Instead, she carried her luggage and walked to the Chen family courtyard herself. After arriving at the Chen family courtyard, Songlian met a maid named Yuru, who was washing clothes. Upon learning that Songlian was the 4th wife, Yuru treated her very unfriendly. Yuru believed that if it weren't for Songlian, she would have become the 4th wife, as the master also favored her. At night, red lanterns were lit in the 4th courtyard where Songlian lived. Servants began to massage her feet and help her change clothes. Songlian quietly awaited Master Chen's arrival. When Master Chen arrived at the 4th courtyard, he said little and told Songlian to undress and go to bed. Lying on the bed, Songlian felt terrified. She asked the master to extinguish the lanterns, but he bluntly replied that the lanterns were lit to see her more clearly. Shortly after, a maidservant came to say that the 3rd concubine was ill and needed the master to go over. The master immediately went to the 3rd courtyard. The big red lanterns were lit again in the 3rd courtyard. The next day, Songlian paid visits to the 3 concubines. The 1st concubine was indifferent and showed no interest in worldly affairs. After giving a few brief instructions, Songlian went to the 2nd courtyard. The 2nd concubine received her warmly and told her that on Songlian's wedding night, the 3rd concubine had falsely claimed to be unwell and called the master over. Then Songlian went to see the 3rd concubine, who said she was not feeling well, and asked to meet another day. After returning to her room, Songlian learned that Yuru had been assigned as her maid and deliberately made things difficult for her. Shortly after, it was time for breakfast, and all 4 concubines were present. According to the household rule, whichever mistress Master Chen had stayed the night with had the right to order dishes. Songlian, who preferred a vegetarian diet, ordered spinach and tofu. Time passed quickly, and Songlian had already been in the Chen family for 10 days. According to Chen family rules, after 9 days, the new concubine would be treated the same as the other concubines, and had to stand at the courtyard gate in the evening, waiting for the master's orders, that is, whose lamp the master would light. The master lit Songlian's lamp, but at night a maid came to inform him that the 3rd concubine was ill and needed him to go. Songlian then threatened that if the master went to the 3rd concubine's place, he should never come to hers again. In the end, the master did not go. Early in the morning, the sound of opera singing drifted through the Chen family compound, waking Songlian. She knew the 3rd concubine had deliberately disturbed her and the master at dawn. Songlian went to confront the 3rd concubine, who snapped back unpleasantly. Returning to her room in a huff, Songlian caught the master canoodling with Yuru, and she burned with anger. Due to her resentment toward the master, Songlian's courtyard saw no sign of the lamp being lit for summons for a long time. In the days of past favor, the treatment of having her lamp lit and feet massaged had become a secret source of pride in her heart. Now whenever night fell, the sound of the 3rd concubine enjoying foot massages from the other side of the wall would drift over. Each rhythmic motion was like a needle pricking at her heart, making her restless and filled with the unwillingness and suffering of being neglected. In the dim twilight, Songlian caught sight of an unremarkable small house in the corner. She reached out to push the door, only to feel the cold iron chain that locked it tight. Through the gap in the door, Two pairs of women's shoes stood side by side, their dark satin surfaces gleaming eerily, as if hiding unknown secrets. Just then, the second concubine called her over. Unable to suppress her curiosity, Songlian asked about the room's purpose. The second concubine looked indifferent, her tone as light as if talking about the most ordinary thing. Just two female relatives from the previous generation who ended their lives in that room. As she spoke, her gaze sharpened suddenly, and she warned, "Don't ask anymore. Knowing too much may not be a good thing." With that, she fell silent. Once again, mealtime arrived. As the master had lit the lamp in the third courtyard the previous night, it was the third concubine's turn to order dishes according to the rules. Unfamiliar with the mission's intricate customs, Songlian casually asked why her usual favorite, spinach and tofu, were absent from the table. The third concubine curved her lips into a meaningful smile and said, "Eating only vegetarian dishes won't do. I specially ordered lotus leaf steamed pork today to nourish your body." Songlian's face instantly paled with anger. She slammed her chopsticks and bowed down and turned to leave. As she walked through the twisting corridors, the bronze bells at the roof corners jingled faintly in the wind, as if mocking her naivety. Upon returning to her room, she collapsed weakly onto the couch. In a daze, she thought of her father, and trembled as she fished out a yellowed bamboo flute from the bottom of her trunk, the last keepsake her father had left her. Just then the third concubine called Songlian to play mahjong. Songlian declined, but the third concubine taunted that she was afraid of losing money, unwilling to be looked down upon. Songlian had no choice but to follow the third concubine to the mahjong table. During the mahjong game, the third concubine introduced Dr. Gao and Mr. Wen. As the clatter of tiles and chatter filled the air, Songlian accidentally dropped a tile. Bending to pick it up, she was shocked to see under the tablecloth as shadow that the third concubine's foot was intertwined with Dr. Gao's leg, their movements intimate and ambiguous. When the autumn wind swept away the fallen leaves, a clear flute melody pierced the morning mist. Songlian followed the sound to the top floor and saw Fei Yipu leaning against the railing, playing the flute. Without turning his head, he called out, Songlian in a familiar tone, as if she were just an ordinary girl next door, not treating her as a fourth concubine at all. After a brief conversation with Fei Yipu, Songlian returned to her room, but couldn't find the flute left by her father. Suspecting her maid Yeen'er had stolen it, she went to search Yeen'er's room. Yeen'er tried desperately to block her, which only deepened Songlian's suspicion. The moment she pushed open the door, she was greeted by a room filled with red lanterns. Turns out Yeen'er had been lighting lanterns every night, openly violating the Chen family's strict rules. Songlian rummaged through Yeen'er's trunks, but found no trace of the flute. Instead, she pulled out a closed door, pierced with silver needles, on which her name was clearly written. Clutching the door, she questioned Yeen'er, who looked terrified. When she learned the handwriting was from the second concubine, her blood seemed to freeze instantly. Behind the seemingly gentle smiles in this deep mission lay such bone-chilling scheming. At dusk, Master Chen came to see Songlian. She asked where the flute was, and he replied that he had burned it, thinking it was a gift from a male classmate. Annoyed by Songlian's anger, Master Chen left for the second concubine's quarters instead. The next day, the second concubine came to Songlian's room and begged her to cut her hair short, because Master Chen had said it would make her look younger. Though Songlian knew the woman hid restless heart beneath her friendly demeanor, she finally agreed after repeated pleading. Then a scream rang out, and the second concubine's ear was cut. When the third concubine heard about this, She found Songlian and revealed the past to her. Back then the second concubine, and she was pregnant at the same time. To monopolize Master Chen's favor, the second concubine actually put abortifacients in her meals. Fortunately, the third concubine was blessed. With great luck, the child survived, and she gave birth to a son first. The second concubine later only had a daughter. The third concubine warned Songlian that only by bearing a son for the Chen family could she have an easier life in the future. After that, Master Chen kept staying in the second concubine's chamber, and she became increasingly complacent. As the new concubine, Songlian was left neglected, and even the maids began to disrespect her. One night when Songlian heard the second concubine pounding her feet again, full of grievances, she called Yuru to massage her feet. Yuru made excuses saying she couldn't, but Songlian insisted she do it. Yuru retorted defiantly, "If you're so capable, call and cower." These words provoked Songlian, who immediately decided to fake a pregnancy. When the news spread, red lanterns were hung again in the Songlian's courtyard. Master Chen ordered that the lanterns stay lit day and night, and all of Songlian's requests be granted. Songlian thought that if Master Chen stayed with her every night, the fake pregnancy might become real. While doing laundry, Yuru found blood on Songlian's pants and exposed the truth of the fake pregnancy, immediately informing the second concubine. Taking this opportunity, the second concubine suggested inviting a doctor to diagnose Songlian's pulse. After examination, Dr. Gao confirmed she was not pregnant. Songlian's Master Chen ordered the lanterns removed and never lit again. Knowing Yuru had informed on her, Songlian retaliated by exposing Yuru for lighting a lantern privately. According to Chen family rules, Yuru was forced to kneel in the snow. The Master Chen's wife urged her to admit her mistake, but she refused to yield and finally collapsed in the snow, never to wake again. Life in the Chen family went on uneventfully. On Songlian's 20-year-old birthday, no one paid her any mind. She poured wine for herself and, while drunk, revealed that the third concubine was having an affair with Dr. Gao. Taking this opportunity, the second concubine sent people to catch them in the act and brought the tied-up third concubine back. The next morning, Songlian witnessed the third concubine being dragged to that small house and pushed open the door to find her tortured to death. This shocking scene broke her, and Songlian went insane from then on. With the third concubine dead and the fourth concubine mad, summer came. Master Chen married another young concubine. The stories of the Chen family mansion continued.